In the headlines, a red eye outbreak currently impacting the workforce and the students across all 7 health districts. Dominica placed on notice by a local organization to make provision for a growing elderly population, and after more than 3 decades in the profession, Principal of Isaiah Thomas Secondary Shirley Samuel retires. I am Kenny Williams with the Channel 5 News. I'll be back with the details right after this. First up, the spread of an outbreak of a red eye across all 7 health districts is reportedly having a notable impact on the school and the workforce. Chief Medical Officer Dr. David Johnson says in response, his ministry has stepped up its public health response and all health districts have increased surveillance and management of red eye.
It is significant. It is significant to the extent that it's affecting all age groups. So both children and adults are affected. It's affecting school children. So when a school child gets affected with the red eye, it means that there's loss of classes. The child cannot go to school. And when it is affecting the working population, it means that the individual have to take sick leave for a few days, in most cases up to a week. And therefore that will have a significant impact in terms of in the working environment.
The Roseau Health District, which spans Soufriere to Warner, has been most affected with the highest number of reported cases.
Districts that have been reporting the highest concentration of red eye would be in Roseau Health District. Roseau Health District, we have the highest population. Concentration of population on that area. In fact, the Roseau Health District, almost 50% of the health district of the population, is in the Roseau Health District. And in fact, some almost 39,000 persons reside in the Roseau Health District compared to some health districts that have maybe 10,000 persons or less.
Symptoms of red eye include redness or swelling of the white of the eye, excess tears, pain in the eyes, and sensitivity to light. Affected members of the public are urged to be vigilant in managing the spread of the disease by avoiding crowds, sharing towels or sunglasses if they do have red eye. Washing of hands for both affected and non-affected individuals is essential, as red eye is mainly spread through hand-to-hand contact. On 31st May, the ministry reported an increase in the number of chickenpox cases on island. However, the chief medical officer says this is not considered to be an outbreak at this point.
So we have seen a few cases of chickenpox in some of the health districts. Not all of the health districts have reported chickenpox, but the numbers we have not been getting, at least so far for the last couple of weeks, we have not been getting reported cases of chickenpox. So we don't consider it an outbreak at this stage.
In more news, the Electoral Commission is moving closer to setting up the infrastructure for introducing identification cards for voting. A release from Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Gerald Burton, announced the government has approved $6.1 million to purchase equipment to implement the new identification card system. These funds will also cover hiring and training of personnel working on that system. The Commission expects the new infrastructure to help with the sanitation of the list of electors. The Commission has also appointed media professional Pro Fontaine Butler as its press public education officer. The Commission plans to undertake a public education campaign on the proposed identification system. In more top stories, while government has agreed to grant the Public Service Union over $300,000 in non-salary benefits, the trade union is calling for government to reconsider other proposal it has turned down. General Secretary of the PSU, Thomas Later, says among the non-salary benefits approved is a contribution of $200,000 to the union's medical fund.
$200,000 would be given to the union, which would go towards our medical fund. The union provides medical loans and other form of assistance grants to its members who require that for health purposes or health reasons. In addition to that, we also have payday loans that we give to our members, as much as $1,000, between $700 to $1,000, and a grant of $80,000 will also be given for that purpose. That facility has been in existence for over 10 years. And also for workshops, an annual grant of $20,000 will be provided, and the workshops are supposed to be organized in collaboration with the personnel training and the establishment department.
Leighton says he is happy that government has also agreed to pay a bonus to members who retired in 2016 for the first year. Additionally, he wants government to review its decision rejecting a monthly payment of $30 for each member on the union's group medical insurance.
We have about 600 people who are part of that insurance scheme, medical insurance scheme. And we were told that that was no problem. That was one of the areas that government can encourage. However, the latest position by the government is that they will not be making a contribution, a monthly contribution to that. And we have difficulty there because we have worked it out, and we are saying that $30 is joke compared to what other governments throughout the region pay to the insurance, medical insurance premium of their members.
Leighton says there were several other non-salary matters presented to government for consideration. He says salary negotiations could drag on so long as the concerns remain unresolved.
While some of those matters have not even gotten any form of discussion yet, have not made its way at the bargaining table, we have been told that they have not been approved. Since some of those matters are more of an administrative nature, that even after the conclusion of negotiations, we will continue discussing them, because some of them would involve, or would require rather, the inputs of the permanent secretaries and other senior public officers. And so that was the agreement, and not that they would not approve. And I could give examples of some of these things. Some of these things would be assistance to nurses who work at the Princess Margaret Hospital very, very late. We would have the nursing shift that we have to look at. We would have to look at question of uniforms to custom officers, and a number of other areas which pertain specifically to some discipline within the public service.
Meantime, the Minister for Health says the Cuban Scholarship Program holds tremendous potential for Dominica in terms of training the medical experts, which will be required to staff the new Princess Margaret Hospital.
Addressing the latest group of students to secure Cuban scholarships, Mr. Daru said for decades now, Cuba has been investing in small developing states with fragile economies such as Dominica.
From a personal point of view, where else would my parents find hundreds of thousands of dollars, to allow me to achieve my lifelong dream of becoming a medical doctor? And we really want to thank your government, in spite of the challenges that you had, still having, that every year you have honored your commitment in allowing our young people to pursue tertiary education, medicine, and otherwise. As we speak, as Ambassador also said, as we speak, we have close to a dozen or so of our students specializing in Cuba. Of course, this is all in an effort to boost our health service, our health product. We know that we've started a new hospital, well underway. Things are going okay for now. And then we have a new modern equipment, but we also need to ensure that the human resource part of it is taken care of.
Marlon Moses and Keller David are among the 14 new students who have obtained scholarships to pursue tertiary level studies in Cuba. Moses will study mechanical engineering.
Well, ever since I was a child, I had a great interest in fixing machines, taking things apart, putting it back together. Even my father, he told me that I could be anything I want. And as I saw that as taking away the parts of the machine, I could put it back together, I saw mechanical engineering as a pathway to following my dreams.
Mm-hmm. What is your own message to young people when it comes to pursuing higher education or tertiary education?
Well, my message to the young people is to tell them that they need to work hard at it, And even after you work hard, sometimes you may apply to something somewhere and you may get rejected. But don't take that rejection. Use that rejection as a pathway and as a motivation to keep at it, to keep continuing. And that one day you'll realize that your dreams will come true.
Marlon says he's looking forward to returning home to make his contribution to nation building.
There's actually a great demand for engineers. Back in 2015, after Tropical Storm Erica hit, we had to import engineers from America, from Europe, and as a country with its own capable people, I felt that there was a need to go to study so I could better help my country.
Kelda David will pursue studies in medicine. She says she has always desired a career in medicine, and she is grateful that her dream is now possible with this scholarship.
Being a teacher, I encourage everybody to continue on and to further their studies and go as far as they can to get whatever it is that they want to achieve. But that also you shouldn't just give up if one opportunity does not come. And if you may try, it's always our dream to go ahead and study directly after college or directly after high school. And sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. But I encourage everybody, even if it doesn't work out for you one time, but to still go ahead and still try. There are other means and other avenues that we can do it, if not being able to leave the country to go to a school. But there is always online studies and so on. So yes, I encourage everybody. In this day and age, CXC is not all there is, and it's always wise to have something way more than that, even more than an associate's. So a bachelor's, your master's, your PhD, so whatever it is, go for it.
Kelda plans on specializing in pediatrics or genetic engineering. Dominican students have benefited from Cuban scholarships for over 30 years. Channel 5 News was unable to obtain statistics for all those years, but despite the fluctuation in numbers from year to year, Dominican students have consistently received these scholarship opportunities.
Coming up, ITSS graduation, sports and weather. Thanks for staying with us. Dominica is being told to put the relevant systems in place to accommodate an ever-increasing elderly population. First Vice President of the Dominica Council on Aging says that globally statistics for the increase in the elderly population are alarming and the country must take steps to adjust to the growing number of senior citizens and subsequent maltreatment of this vulnerable population.
The global population of people aged 60 years and older will more than double from 542 million people in 1995 to about 1.2 billion in 2026, and that's frightening. Around 4 to 6% of older people have experienced some form of maltreatment at home. Elder maltreatment can lead to serious physical injuries and long-term psychological consequences. The evidence of abuse towards older people is predicted to increase as many countries are experiencing rapidly aging population.
One of the council's main concerns is the various types of abuse of the elderly. Joseph says the international community is taking action to address this and Dominica should not be left behind.
In line with 2013 Sustainable Development Agenda and the Madrid International Plan of Action on Aging, older people have the right to a life of dignity in old age, free of all forms of abuse. And therefore we, and I am emphasizing that, we all have a God-given responsibility to do whatever we can to eliminate or at least to curb down this scourge in our society.
In education, principal of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, Shirley Samuel, is graciously bowing out of the teaching profession after a 37-year career in the field of education. Samuels, who had been the principal of the ITSS, says this past academic year was particularly difficult for the school. However, they were able to overcome the obstacles to have a successful school year.
This school year was the most difficult year of my years as a manager. Many teachers and students experienced various ailments. Some were hospitalized, and there were other sensitive in-house matters that I had to deal with. Nonetheless, I give thanks to my father for seeing us through and giving us a successful school year.
Samuel was recognized by staff for her contribution to the school during its graduation ceremony on Wednesday.
Mrs. Samuel, you've touched the lives of thousands of students throughout your career, and we are so honored that your final years were spent at ITSS.
You've worked hard to attain the success that we celebrate today.
You've left your footprints in the sand, and it will never be forgotten.
Your counsel and exemplary ambitions will be forever etched in our hearts and minds.
May God keep you safe and well, and in your quiet moments, may you hear him softly say, "My good and faithful servant, well done."
In related news, the government of Dominica has reaffirmed its commitment to the holistic development of students to help them become more competitive in the world of work. Speaking at the graduation ceremony of the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School on Wednesday, Minister for Education Peter St. Jean said government is determined to invest in students and provide opportunities to help develop their potential.
I wish to say to you that beyond paper qualifications, we are seeking to equip all our students with practical skills that place them in good stead to be the best experts in their chosen field of endeavor, be it engineering, plumbing, garment making, or any other field that you choose, as there is indeed a high demand for skilled individuals in an ever-changing Dominican society.
The ITSS held its graduation ceremony under the theme Unlock Your Potential and Fulfill Your Destiny.
People often become frustrated knowing that they have access to this potential but don't know how to unlock that door. Always keep in mind that the wrong combination will leave you locked outside the door to your potential. However, don't just remain there staring at that door, aimless and effortless, but rather use the tool of information that you possess and turn those combinations until you get it right. Graduation class of 2017, I say that you are ready to unlock that potential and you will fulfill that destiny.
55 students graduated at Wednesday's ceremony, with Elisa Charles being awarded valedictorian. Sunzara Libert Banks was salutatorian. And the supporting framework for the implementation of the country's Fresh Produce Export Quality Control Act of 2009 has been taking shape in recent months. The act is aimed at raising the bar for the country's fresh produce exports so that it can meet international standards. Technical Officer at the Dominica Bureau of Standards, Ronald Roy, explained the regulations in the act were adopted in 2012. He says the appointment of fresh produce inspectors in April has stepped up implementation of the act.
The act itself, it provides or caters for the inspection of all fresh produce leaving Dominica for export. We had some delay in implementation because we needed the necessary infrastructure to do that inspection. Now we have the commissioning of the multipurpose packing houses in Portsmouth and Roseau. We are now working closely with Dexia to do that inspection in order to issue the necessary certificate for export. We have since placed inspectors at the facilities who assist the Dexia staff in processing, grading, and packaging the commodity based on quality specifications.
Roy says the inspection is critical since the market demands certain quality and they work from the market requirements. The act will also cover issuance of certification to packaging houses and exporters upon inspection of their produce.
We are not able to capture everybody in the first instance because we have approximately 200 exporters who do that trade, trade into the US and the Caribbean. So what we have decided is to work with the Dexia packing houses because the infrastructure eventually will meet certification status, and we will try to capture those who are going through that facility. Having said that, there are exporters who own private packing houses. We are also working with them, and we are also offering that inspection service to them. The Act is not only catering for an inspection of fresh produce, but it also provides for the certification of the packing houses. So as we speak, we are working with Dexia in implementing the quality management system for the packing house to ensure that it meets international best practices.
That's news. Your sports highlights next. First up in sports, West Indies head coach Stuart Law says confidence will be crucial for victory ahead of their one-day international series against India beginning on Friday. He says this is an opportunity for the Windies to show what they are made of.
We've spoken long and hard. The batsmen know that they have to start producing, so that there's no secret to that. Our bowlers have been doing a great job consistently. So now it's time for the batsmen to stick their head up and want to be out there, want to score runs. Against a pretty formidable opponent in India, one of the best teams in the world, if not the best. So great challenge for our boys, and I'm sure they're all looking forward to it. I think it's just a matter of just believing in their own ability a little bit more, have that self-belief, go out and remain positive. Sometimes it looks like we're caught in two minds. Once you're in two minds, it becomes very clouded in there, and you can't execute your skills. So I'm just talking to them all the time, just saying just back yourself, be positive, and the runs will come.
He says playing against one of the top teams in cricket will be no walk in the park.
India, provides a great challenge, not only for the West Indies, but any other team playing against them at this day and age. So looking forward to hosting them here, and they've got some great players, but just want our boys to go out and not worry about the man they're playing, worry about the ball coming down, and hopefully things will be all right. They will be hurting. They went through that tournament over there, playing great cricket, and they got done by Pakistan on the day. So I'm sure that the guy that leads them, Virat Kohli, is a very passionate Indian. He loves seeing his team have success. So he'll be driving them a lot harder, I think, during this series, which we've got to be ready for.
The first and second match will be played at Queen's Park Oval on Friday, June 23 and Sunday, June 25 respectively. First ball is scheduled for 9 a.m. Pedaling on to cycling, where the local governing body in the sport is making final preparations for the 2017 OECS Cycling Championship by hosting the final warm-up race on Sunday. President of the Dominica Cycling Association, Ronald Charles, says the upcoming warm-up event is geared at testing the speed of the athletes.
That is Sunday at about 10 o'clock in the morning. We will have the final race, or the final pre-trial race. Now, this is the race that we're going to judge speed, because we have chosen a shorter route, and all that is in preparation for the final event, which is July 2nd. We're basically starting around by the Kubuliba, but this time we're going up to Layu, turn back into town, across the EO Libla bridge, and into the new bridge, New West Bridge, and then back for the finish line at the Kubuliba.
Meantime, approximately 4 countries have confirmed participation in the OECS Cycling Championships this year.
We have gotten definite confirmation from about 5 countries thus far, or 4 countries I would say, and that we are still trying to finalize flights for the last 3 countries, to name BVI, Grenada, and St. Kitts. We're still trying to make sure that they're able to come.
Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Anguilla, and Dominica have confirmed their participation. The teams will be arriving in Dominica from June 30 onward. Dominica will be hosting the 2017 OECS Cycling Championships for the first time on July 2. The official 7 who will be representing Dominica in next month's competition will be determined after Sunday's warm-up race. On the basketball scene, there were wins for Detroit Blazers and Elijah Law Chambers Thunderers in the 2017 Flow DABA League on Wednesday. In Game 1, Blazers defeated Ronald Charles Chambers All-Stars 71-66 in the first division. Top scorers for Blazers were Kelly McPherson, 18 points, Nathan Sebastian, 11, and Mitchell Prevost, 10 points. In a losing effort, All-Stars L.G. Thomas netted 15 points, Eli Popo 10, and Sean 9. In the second match, Thunderers tasted sweet victory when they beat Flow X-Men 63-58. Hudson Merrifield had a game high of 20 points for Thunderers, while Junior Xavier chipped in with 15. X-Men Davidson Toulaw and Shamal Tong scored 15 and 12 points, respectively. The league continues on Friday with a First Division and Premier matches. At 7 p.m., Detroit Blazers will be looking to defend their home turf when they come up against Lindo Park X-Men in the First Division. At 9 p.m., Intellico Security Service Raiders will do battle with Police Sports Club in the Premier Division. Both games are carded for the Massac Hardcourt. Sports continues with football, where the race to the championship gets closer when two teams vie for the coveted DFA Domlec Women's League title on the weekend. The Dive Dominica Harlem and New Generation Sports Clubs will be in competitive atmosphere on Sunday.
The championship for the DFA Domlec Women League will be decided on Sunday when Dive Dominica Harlem United takes on defending champions New India Goodwill Runners at the Windsor Park Stadium from 5 p.m. The reigning champs for the second weekend in a row find themselves in a must-win situation if they are to hold on to their title. They are on 20 points and can reach a maximum of 23 points. Harlem, who are on 21 points, also need a victory if they are to raise their first national title. A draw on Sunday will put them on 22 points with New Generation Sports Club, who has a better goal difference. Meanwhile, on that same Sunday, Maosoka Strikettes will take on Bomber Starlights at 3 p.m. in the opener of a doubleheader at the Windsor Park Stadium.
Finally, in sports, the Woodford Hill Sports Committee is making plans to revamp sports there. Recently, the community formed a sports committee to engage former and active sports people in that effort.
We was out of the map on the sports arena from Woodford Hill. So then we come together to decide we need sports at Woodford Hill to develop a football academy, a cricket academy, a netball academy, a bicycle race academy. We had some real good fellas at sports like Dorian Simpson, then past fellas they were playing for Woodford Hill. And we used to win a lot of games going to Vickers in the Northeastern League, but Harris played that sponsor, and then after that we dropped out.
The committee will hold a meeting on Friday to discuss the way forward for sports development there. President of Dominica Football Association and Vice President of Dominica Olympic Committee is expected to be in attendance. That's all the sports for now. Join us next time. Coming up, the weather forecast.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome to tonight's weather broadcast. I am Janet Macpherson. Infrared satellite imagery today showed some low-level clouds across the central portion of the region. Visible satellite imagery today showed partly cloudy to cloudy skies across Dominica. Radar imagery indicated scattered showers across Dominica this afternoon. The weather for tonight, mostly cloudy, with scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. These conditions are expected to continue into tomorrow, with temperatures peaking up to 30 degrees Celsius. Seas tomorrow, slight to moderate, waves peaking up to 5 feet. Looking ahead for the next 3 days, tomorrow, cloudy skies, scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms. By Saturday, fair to partly cloudy skies. Late Saturday into Sunday, a tropical wave is expected to traverse the area, resulting in cloudy and breezy conditions with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Throughout the Caribbean tomorrow, a low-level trough and a tropical wave are expected to spread partly cloudy to cloudy skies with scattered showers across the islands, with isolated thunderstorms across parts of the island chain. The weather on the international cities forecast: thunderstorm activity expected in New York, Partly cloudy conditions in Miami and London. Some scattered showers in Caracas and rain for the city of Beijing. Sunrise tomorrow at 5:36 a.m. and sunset at 6:39 p.m. For up-to-date weather information, please call our weather hotline at 447-5555 or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Thank you for viewing and have a good night.
To end the news, the headlines again. A red eye outbreak currently impacting the workforce and students across all 7 health districts. Dominica placed on notice by a local organization to make provision for a growing elderly population, and after more than 3 decades in the profession, Principal of Isaiah Thomas Secondary Shirley Samuel retires. Feel free to contact us at news@MarpinNewsThurs22ndJune2k17. You can also access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Kenny Williams. To all viewers around the world, we thank you for watching. Join us tomorrow.